The main message is to stand up for yourself, and you'll find us behind you.
Welcome to Talking Shop, the Communities Inc. podcast. Episode 10. Can I be a pioneer?
Hi Marwa, my friend. It's been a while since I've seen you. We're going to get to what you're doing now, but we actually met 6 years ago when Communities Inc. was running our first pilot Stand By Me Ambassadors programme. Just going back to 6 years ago, what was it when you saw that information out and about? What was it that attracted you to Stand By Me at the time?
It's good to meet you after this long time. So what attracted me actually to join this program was I needed someone to stand by me. So when I first arrived here, unfortunately, being Muslim, wearing hijab, looking different, it was difficult at the beginning. So I had my 2 toddlers and I was pregnant. So I faced some racial abuse, unfortunately. I didn't know what to do. So when I saw the program, I thought, oh, well, that's it. And as well, I heard stories from my friends, and moving to a Western country was a bit of, was an issue. It wasn't easy just to leave everything behind and to move to a new country. And I know I would look different. And facing the problems, something needed to be done. I couldn't keep quiet, and I'm a very active person. I want to go out. So something like this happening would keep me at home and not sleeping, suffering a lot. So I needed to do something. So I was thankful that I found this and joined it.
Yeah, so it was a way of helping yourself as well as a way of helping other people around you.
Exactly, yes, because it's important to help yourself and to help others as well, because if you stop something from happening, it would help that it would be not happen to any other one with similar situation.
Yeah, and I know that you were a very active ambassador for us.
Yeah.
You didn't stop. You were always talking to people, telling people about C report support, things that they could do. And I also know, I don't know if I ever told you, but there were at least the beginnings of 3 prosecutions as a response to things that you had told people to do.
Amazing.
That they then went on to do that they ordinarily wouldn't have done. You know, they called the police when they wouldn't have done. They paid attention to the details. You know, they acted, they responded, they intervened.
Exactly.
So, you actually helped us to demonstrate that actually this can make a difference. But just thinking about that, I mean, what changed for you after the programme? How did things change for you and the people that you were around?
So actually, cascading the information made me met new people, and not only like people who look like me, but other people as well. But they sometimes be interested, say, "Oh, we needed to know this information," because most probably I'll be the victim, and they will be the bystanders. So. It truly empowered me and changed my views. In coming from my country, the relationship between the people and the police is not as here. So, and sometimes people, they don't know their rights, or they don't know what are their responsibilities. So it was great to clarify all of these things, that you need to stop it, because it will never stop. It will keep continuing. And the most important thing, like when you report something, when you see things, you're helping yourself, you're helping other people, you're helping your community. And I found out it's not only targeting Muslims or women in hijab. No, anyone who looks different might be targeted. And remember, we've been invited to some people just because they're wearing different, they were targeted, although they're English and they're not wearing any.
Or if somebody has a disability or different sexual orientation, or just looks different, they wear different clothes.
Exactly. And
single them out.
It's actually like helping everyone to be and feel accepted. Like we don't have to look alike just to, because what differentiates it, what makes us unique and like make us like know to each other and flourish together and like empower each other, help each other.
Absolutely, and I don't know if I've ever told you before, but some of the stories and experiences that you shared throughout that training, since then, all those years later, sort of the last 5 years or so, I've used those stories as examples of good practice, of examples of, well, this is how you can respond and this is how it can make a difference. I remember you telling me about a young man who came out of an alleyway and was very abusive to you when you were with your children, and you paid attention to where he went, and he happened to live just very close to where this incident happened. So you clocked the address, you went home, you called the police came over, and they decided to go and visit him.
Yeah.
Which is good. Most of the time the police they won't have the resources to do that. And what they ended up doing was sending him a very powerful message, because when he knocked on the door, it didn't really matter where he was or what he was doing in terms of what he said. The point is, he knows that the police were called because of his behaviour towards you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that would have humiliated him, that would have embarrassed him. Anybody that was inside, he would have had to explain, why are the police knocking on the door? And I always used to tell that as an example of, you know, things can make a difference, because you also then, I remember you telling me, you saw him again.
Yeah.
You saw him again, and what did he do when you saw him?
He looked on the floor and he couldn't just look me in the eye, so I feel so proud.
Yeah, and you know, and every time I tell that story, I feel that as well. And do you know what? Do you know what he did when she looked at him? Because she looked at him straight in the eye.
Yeah.
And he looked down.
Exactly.
Shame, embarrassment, whatever you want to call it. And do you know, that man has probably never done that again.
Yes.
Because of what you did and because of how you responded to him. So, thank you for that, because you've actually helped me to help other people, because it demonstrates it can make a difference.
Yeah, but thank you, because you helped me actually to be a better version of me. Because the feeling, and this is something really important, is like someone who doesn't know you, he's never seen me before. Why he's approaching me and tell me to F to my country, or he doesn't know anything, why I'm here, how I'm here, nothing. And just for 5 seconds, it would like ruin not my day, my week. No, I just keep asking myself, what have I done? I haven't done anything. I'm walking on the street with my children, like picking them up from school. So to stand up for myself and making sure that it's not happening to anyone else, it's not happening to me. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, coming to sort of where you are now, I mean, you decided to set up an organisation, a women's organisation, Heya.
Yeah.
Can you tell me why did you feel the need to set up a new organisation? Because there are other women's organisations in Nottinghamshire. What was different, or what was going to be different about Heya?
Heya actually means she in Arabic. So it's different because there wasn't any organisation that support Arab in the community. And when it started, it actually focused on the women's need, not what the funds are asking you to do. No, we wanted to make sure that these women are listened, are heard, not forced to do things. So I've noticed, I've volunteered with other organizations, and I've seen how I was used or not appreciated or not even heard, or like saying like this won't be suitable for these women. They don't care. You just want the fund to go, and it doesn't work.
Yeah, I don't know if it's similar. We sometimes get calls and we'll get told, we've got some funding, we need to run these workshops, can you find us the people to attend these workshops? And I often think to myself, well, surely when you applied for the money, you would have said, we need to do these workshops because these people are saying that they need them.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, I know you spent a lot of time volunteering.
Yeah.
But, you know, you can't make up somebody's needs and apply for funding and then try and fill the room with anybody just to count the numbers up, can you?
Exactly. So I'm just saying, like, if you applied for this fund, well, you surely have, like, research and know what your organization's members need. So don't ask me to fulfill your fund or, like, your needs. So I remember, like, we started with a focus group, and you said, oh, Marwa, you can gather women. Why don't you start up your own organization? I say, oh, well, that's something I haven't thought of, because like everyone, mostly because I volunteered, some of them, they were good, but mostly they would like just won't appreciate the effort that I'm doing, or they couldn't see the difference that could be done to Arab women lives. So we had like a focus group about hate crime, and we gathered around, I think like I don't remember, it was a long time ago, around 10 to 15, and we wanted to know the barriers, why Arab women are not reporting, or what are the barriers. And then when you finished, you said, oh, Marwa, you should have set up your own organization. I said, yeah, okay. So we had a meeting, and you and Kate took me, and very supportive since then. You have never left me, really, to be honest. Whenever I need help, you're always there. And I'm so proud of you, to be honest, like seeing you and seeing, no. And when you say, remember when we won the BBC, and you say, oh, these women could do anything, although we don't have that much fund, we don't have that much support, but still, like people like you make it happen, make our, even if we don't get paid, even if we like do extra work, even if we shout loud to be heard, but still we know there are some people who are like in our backs, backing us and supporting us and empowering us. And it's the empowerment for Heya, like to be empowered, because we believe that the women are the cornerstone of the family. So primarily Heya was like for Arab women, but now it's open for everyone to join and be there. We had like some events that we had more than 300 people from all over the world to represent our culture, to present our food. And the thing is, when I started here, I actually wanted the people to know about us. But the thing is, we found out, like, as Arab, although we speak the same language, but we're totally different. So we learned about each other. We, like, many groups have like benefited from it.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I think, and I think your enthusiasm and your commitment, got you known. It got you known within sort of like different councils within the area. I know the MPs, politicians, also other people sort of came to know of you because of your commitment and dedication.
Yeah.
And the awards that you won. I mean, that's all the work that you and the ladies that you work with do. And I guess one of the reasons that I suggested to you about setting up a new organisation was because you yourself had faced, some of the difficulties that you were trying to work with other women through.
Yeah, that's
so. When you have that lived experience, there's nothing that can beat that, because you've had to deal with those issues yourself.
Exactly.
And so once you've been able to address some of that for yourself, then you're then in a better position to understand what other people are going through.
Yeah, and this is some of the feedback we get from the women.
Yeah.
Because they said, especially our volunteers, like, who are very dedicated and committed to the group, when they say, yes, we faced a lot, we don't want new people or especially new women who arrive here to face the same thing that we're facing. So we're trying to make sure they come to a safe environment, they know everything, they know their rights, their responsibilities, all the services. And then there was like a huge gap between service users and service providers. I remember I used to go to sessions or workshops that no one's attend because they don't know about it. So we wanted to make sure it's all known. So that's why we share everything in Arabic and English, to make sure everything is known.
Yeah. So what is Heya doing at the moment? What are you up to at the moment? What are you busy with? What's going on?
After receiving the awards.
Just tell us about those awards first of all. What was the awards that you won?
So last year we were just we're nominated to be like the BBC Make a Difference Award, the category community, but we didn't win. But this year we won under the category together. Yes, the BBC Make a Difference Award.
So nomination 1 year and then winning it the following year.
Yeah, which was amazing, to be honest, like really. And there was like Get Active, like they like featured us like at Good Practice to break barriers for women to sport. And I myself won 2 awards from the the mayor of Broxton, which, as you mentioned, like the good connection with MPs and mayors. So one of them was the volunteer award and one the heritage and something award.
Right. So we actually ought to be getting you to be helping us now then.
Yeah, no, you're helping me. As you mentioned, the MPs and the councillors, I would really as well value Shagufta Quddus, because she called us the pioneers. So she took the phase of like introducing the role of MPs, the role of councillors, and we, to be honest, since then it made it very easy for us to speak to councillors or MPs, because now we know whom to call, where to call. I know where to refer people, because sometimes I still don't know anything. So when I need something, I know I can call Shamshir. When I need something, I know whom to call.
Yeah. And so, I mean, could you give us an example of, you know, how have you made a difference? Say to an individual woman, give us an example of something that Haya has done as an organisation to help somebody, where it's made a difference for someone.
To be honest, there are many stories, but I remember we had like a video for the Nottingham Women Centre, and some of the interviewee were women, and they came when it's Corona. Unfortunately, they were very isolated, and Haya was like a home for them, a place where they can be themselves, where can they express themselves, who can be connected to other women. So the feeling of isolation, leaving everything behind, and this is the main point, like you leave everything behind, especially if a refugee or an asylum seeker, that you're forced to flee your country, and you're forced to leave everything behind. You couldn't even take some of your memories with you or anything, like sometimes you without clothes even. So to moving to another country, different language, not knowing anything. So this is the huge difference. I've seen like women being accepted, being not judged for their clothes or their language. They can freely speak their language. They can freely connect to other women and other communities. On another side, like for reporting, that was another one, because women, when they report and when they see like there's something happened, they feel empowered, that they feel, because you know, again, when you move to a different country, some people, they don't feel they're equal, unfortunately, because some people, they treat them, say, sometimes actually, you know, you victimize, you become even more victim, like you're being your own oppressor, say, I'm not equal, it's not my country, so it's their country. No, but once you arrived here, you enjoyed the same rights, and no one need to underestimate you or like call you names or like do anything. So that's the main message, is to stand up for yourself, and you'll find us behind you. We've helped women to get volunteers opportunity. We've helped women to get jobs. We've helped women to improve their English. Like we've helped, actually, we work with Nottingham University and some other organization to do some focus groups to make sure that underrepresented communities are heard and listened, why they're not involved. So we're making sure that they're getting involved, their voice are heard, and they're not alone. Like moving to a new country doesn't mean like you feel isolated or you feel depression, because this is something I've seen how women changed and flourished, like from being isolated to being like fully themselves and getting a job and speaking to others, stand up for themselves. This is what, when someone tells me a story, I say, yes, I say, yes, this is what exactly we want. We I guess set up this group, and in this all they say, thanks Shamshir for help.
I guess in the early days, you know, first and foremost, it was a safe space for people to be themselves, to be able to express any concerns or worries that they had. And so you've actually, you know, you've created a very unique space for, you know, a group of women that didn't have that space before.
Yeah. You know, I remember one of the awards I won, and they mentioned a story about, I saw a woman sitting and crying, and because her daughter, she was afraid of her daughter's sight, and she didn't know where to go. And when I was passing by, I said, why are you crying? And then she told me that she can't book an appointment because of her language. So I took her and just book her an appointment and make sure she knows. And this is really like it made me think, what about people you don't hear, you don't know that their issues, you haven't seen them crying, like being crumbling and crying all by yourself is a horrible situation. So
you don't know what people are going through, do you?
Yeah,
Really,
yeah.
what they have been through.
Yeah, and especially now with the rising cost of living, like everyone is suffering. So it's good to have this safe space where you can like share tips or how to save, or if there's like any help or support, I believe, or even empower them to get a job or like to volunteer. And yeah, because everyone is looking for a job.
Yeah. What's next for you now then, or what's next for Heya?
What's next for Heya? Hopefully to have our own community center, because this is something like we've been, as I mentioned, when we did like hand in hand with Council Shagufta Kudus, and we talked about our hopes we had like with Near Neighbors. We had a small fund from Near Neighbors. And the final event, we mentioned how it's important to have a space, not only a virtual one. We really need a physical space that all women could be there. Because I remember took some women to the Beeston Youth and Community Center, and they say, "Oh, can we come here every day?" Say, "Sorry, we can't." It's only for 2 hours. And Nikki, to be honest, just been very helpful. To be honest, as I mentioned, like we had bad experiences, but we had some wonderful women, starting from Shamsha, Shagufta Kudus, and Nikki, and the Women's Center. To be honest, they've been very helpful. Remember when we first went to them?
Yeah.
So,
I think, I mean, you know, from my observations, I think you're very similar to what Communities Inc. did, in that we focused on things that were important.
yeah.
And yes, money is important. You know, it helps you to do things. It helps you to maybe do more things. But first of all, you've got to start, you know, meeting the needs that you're trying to identify and do something. And it's when you have your little successes that people start thinking, oh, actually, you know, they're doing some really good work. And, you know, myself and Michael, I don't know if you know, in the early years, we didn't have funding for quite a while.
Yeah.
But that didn't stop our aspirations.
Exactly.
That didn't stop us thinking, this is what we want to do. We didn't reduce our aspirations.
Yeah.
We just worked even harder towards them. And very slowly, you know, we started getting small pots of funding, you know, a little bit here, a little bit there. Then we were lucky to get the big lottery funding. And then I remember, you know, in 2017, just before we met, we applied to the Google Innovation Fund. And I remember thinking, okay, it's a really long shot, but I knew it was a great idea.
Yeah.
I knew that it could make a difference. I knew that after the EU referendum and reported hate crimes went up across the country, we saw people being sort of abused verbally on public transport. We thought, we know that there's a role that witnesses can play, that bystanders can play.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, you know, once we received that funding from the Google Innovation Fund, in my head, I thought the sky's the limit. That you can't tell me there's nothing I can't do. And that's what I see in you, in the not having any money or not getting the funding that you were expecting hasn't stopped you in any way.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you know, I think we do see, you know, even in our sector, people that sort of shut the doors at 5 o'clock and say, that's it, I'm not working anymore.
Yeah, I've seen it.
People that say, no, I can't meet you in the evening because my work is from 9 till 5.
Yeah.
No, I can't meet you at the weekends because I work Mondays to Friday.
Yeah.
People who switch off from their work.
Yeah.
And I know that you don't stop because I've spoken to you many evenings or at weekends. And I think it's that commitment and dedication that sees you through, and eventually sort of, you know, other people see that, notice that, and then want to be part of it.
Yeah. I remember some organization, they will refer some women. I say, okay, don't speak there. I say, I can't. If it's a work for you, it's like, it's someone's life. Someone needs to be heard.
Yeah. Unfortunately, people don't manage their crises between 9 to 5 and Monday to Friday. It doesn't quite work like that. And you have to be responsive to that.
Exactly.
But I think when you are responsive to that, people remember it.
Yeah, I remember I spent the whole Christmas holiday like with a case that I couldn't leave. I couldn't shut my phone.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people that wouldn't answer the phone because it's Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, or that would answer it and say, sorry, give me a call on the 6th of January.
Yeah.
It's been an absolute pleasure again to see you, and I'm glad to think that you haven't needed me for the last few years, which is why you've not been in touch.
I always need. I know that you're there when I need you. Like
now that we have reconnected, I'm sure that we will meet again.
Yes.
And it's just really great to hear your journey and to hear how, you sort of feeling more empowered helped you to empower other women more. And I don't think there's any better job than, or better satisfaction that you can get in passing that on.
Exactly, when something's done, I can't tell you how if someone like get accepted in a job, or someone looking for a volunteering opportunity, or someone like reported something and then the harassment stopped. I can't tell you how I feel like up in the sky, really. Like it's this satisfaction.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your energy. Thank you for your commitment.
Thank you.
And
I remember going with you to the Google one. I remember speaking to people like
to
really.
the Inter-project event.
Yes. The what's funny is like the first workshop I've ever attended here. It was I don't do public speaking.
But you did a little talk there, didn't you? Yeah.
No, but since then I haven't stopped speaking.
You haven't stopped, no. And I think it's going to be a while before you even slow down. There's a lot more to do, isn't there?
Yeah, you found a lot of me. Like, and thing is, we built up. Like, you remember when we started, I couldn't find anyone to help from the women because they weren't like empowered. Yeah. But now they're all like empowered and fully qualified.
That's great. You're sort of building a new generation really now, aren't you?
Yeah, because I have 2 daughters. Yeah. I want to see them empowered and heard and listen. I don't want them to crumble or hide. I want them to be themselves. Yeah.
Well, pleasure to see you, and let's look at opportunities. Let's look at opportunities to reconnect and do some more fantastic work together.
Yes, definitely. I always enjoy your company.
Right. Thank you very much, Marwa.
Sure.
Thank you.